Hey, lovely people. It is your girl, Kea Simone. And boy, oh boy, do I have a treat for you guys tonight. Tonight, we have a panel of men, all men, yes. And they will be providing the male perspective. So I'll just go ahead and start introducing the men because I know you guys do not want to miss this. First, we have JL. Hi, JL.
Hey, what's going on? Glad to be here. Glad to be here.
Awesome. Can you tell the people about yourself?
Well, my name is JL. I'm a recording artist, songwriter, producer from Tennessee. So I'm just glad to be here, just to be doing my thing.
Okay,
Yeah.
awesome. So next we have Mike.
What's going on, everybody? This is Mike from Raw Voices. Raw Voices is an R&B duo, so I'm like half of the R&B duo. I'm also a writer, director, executive producer. Uh, I do a lot of stuff.
Okay, we got talent all over here. So next we have Ron Freeman. Hey, Ron. Can you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah, sorry, I was muted. So I'm Ron Freeman from I live from Detroit originally. Live in Houston, Texas. Um, you see me probably on a TV show, Ready to Love. I'm also a very good sales manager. I do Urban League for mentoring kids on the weekends and things of that nature with my time. And I'm currently dating, so my perspective is going to be more boots on the ground, I guess.
Awesome. Next we have Sean. Hey, Sean.
What's going on, Kea?
I'm glad to have you.
I'm glad to be here. So a little bit about me. I'm a director for an international bank. Been in retail banking for the last 20 plus years. And most recently started as a creator on YouTube. And I have my own YouTube channel called Sean Unfiltered.
Awesome. And last but not least, Corey. Hey, Corey.
Hey, what's up, kid? What's up going on, fellas? A little bit about me, Corey Black. I have a YouTube channel called Black Made Media where I discuss relationship topics and also do some reaction videos, but everything is relationship based. So this is my wheelhouse tonight. So let's go.
Okay. Listen, I'm glad you guys are excited. Okay. So we just gonna jump in. If they move coming late, they just miss out. They just have to watch the replay because we just gonna go ahead and jump into the questions. Okay. So let's just go ahead and get started. Let me pull up the questions so we can get started. So women always want to know, about them free steaks and them free meals. So what are your thoughts on men paying for the dates? Is there an expectation if the man pays for the date? So who want to go first?
I'll go first.
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, it's just I feel like it's just, I mean, it's expected for a man to pay anyway, so it's not that we should expect anything afterwards. I know a lot of men sometimes kind of do, especially if they spending quite a bit. But me, I'm not that type of person. It's even if a woman say, "Oh, I got it," I'm quick to say no. Because I'm just used to that. I'm used to paying for the dinner.
Okay, so that's what's up. Is there a different perspective on the panel where somebody's saying something different?
I got a whole notion on this subject. So here's the thing. Dating has changed, right? 12 years from now, this wasn't even a subject. Who pays for the date? The man usually paid, but it was harder to get on a date 12 years ago than it is now. Because before you had to call the girl, you had to get the conversation going, you had to get her interested, and then ask her out. And now I can flip left on an app, ask a woman if she's hungry, she knows nothing about me, and take her on a date. So the thing is not the money. I think women concentrate more on the money, but it's more of high interest, versus low interest. And a lot of women are going on these dates with men that they have low to medium interest with and expect them to raise the interest on the date, and that's not fair. It's impossible for him to do that. Like 1 out of maybe 20 men that can raise your interest from low to high. So, for example, I've been on a date with a woman, and the bills came to like $200, and I paid the bill, and I felt cheated at the end. I felt like, oh man, why did I even go on this date? It seemed like it was high interest. She wasn't helping through the conversation, things of that nature. And I've been in that same place with a different woman, spent the same amount, and didn't blink an eye. So it wasn't about the money. It was about the fact that it seemed like one woman was more interested, more there, more available, more affectionate, to give me value in that date. And the other one was just there because of the experience. And then we think of it differently. We think of a first date as an investment. Women think of it as an experience. And those are kind of where the cutoffs kind of lay on it. So I just think women dated men that they have medium to high interest in at first, and maybe you have to say no to some dates and say no to some guys you're not that sure about. You're not going to have a payment problem. The guy's pretty much going to be happy on the date. He's going to pay, and you guys can kind of move on from there.
So you raised the interesting point, Ryan. So what if you would have not maybe spent the $200? Because this question was really out there, because sometimes when people spend a lot of money on a date, they like you said, you feel cheated. So maybe, you might not want to take her to a $200 restaurant. I know you're trying to make a good impression, but, do you think that has something to do with it?
No, because men don't like dating as it is. You know what I mean? It's a time thing. We want to be at home watching the game, you know what I mean? Doing our little work and things of that nature. We are not the type of person that's excited to, let me dress up and let me go put on the suit and, and dress up and go on this date or wherever, no matter where it's at. Or else it's just a place that we pick out. We're just going to meet for drinks or something like that on one of our favorite places around our friends. Yeah, that's different, but that's not a date. I wouldn't consider that. That's just me calling you up, asking if you want to hang out. But if it's a date where I have to plan it, I have to do all these different things and spend my time, it's like I said, it's not about the money. I'm investing my time. I'm investing trying to be creative, trying to please you. I'm trying to do stuff for you within this date. It's not about me. So I'm trying to pick the right place. I'm trying to pick the right date. I'm trying to get some romance going. And like I said, a lot of these times on first dates, we don't know y'all that well. You know what I mean? We might have talked a couple of times. We might have met at the grocery store, at church, something like that, and say a hi to this before, I asked you out. But I'm trying to create interest out of nowhere. So it's difficult on men. And a woman with high interest will help you out through that process. A woman with low to medium interest is not giving you no help. She's sitting back and saying, hey, you either going to raise my interest, or I'm just going to enjoy, the free meal or what's going on here and move on to the next guy. And
to make sure we get a second date, because Crystal is asking low interest versus high interest. So what would you consider like low interest? Is she on her cell phone? Like what type of things is she doing that's giving those?
Women know. Women know when they accept that date. If this is a guy that oh my God, I'm so excited to go on a date with this guy. I'm attracted to him. He seemed nice. I'm really in the market of looking to date because we're dating for investment. So I'm looking to, supplement that investment. I'm looking long term and not, looking forward to my date on Friday and then going on a date with this guy on Tuesday. They know what their interest level is, and a lot of times because dating is so easy right now, and a lot of women are accepting these dates or saying, I'll give it a try. And if you're gonna say I'll give it a try, or you normally my type, but I'll go, you're going in already with low interest. And you just need to turn down that date until you're sure about something. And then find a guy that you have higher interest with to go on a date with. Because it's just fair. But we're not about being fair sometimes in this dating market. But that's what I mean by low interest. And women, they know, you know what I mean? And it might even be a situation where you ain't been on a date in a while as a woman. And a guy asks, you know what I mean? You get excited about that because you're there for the experience, having different experiences, stuff like that. But if you're not into that guy, you're just there for the experience or there because you haven't been on a date in a while, or, it's not fair to the guy because you're setting him up for failure. And he's wasting his money. He really is.
And I can kind of agree because I'm guilty of that. So that's why I was laughing. So Anyone else want to add to that question, like men paying for dates, and elaborate on it?
Yeah, I'll take a stab at it. So what I'll say is this: I think that when going on a first date, before I'm just speaking from personal experience. So before I go on a first date, first I have to make sure that a woman has interest in me. And I do that by the phone conversations we have, how much she'll text me, how much I text her, will she return those texts in a timely manner, like she's actually interested. And then I'll form a date around that. If I feel like there's a high interest, then okay, I'll present a high date. If I feel like there's a mid interest, then you get a mid date. And nothing's wrong with a mid date. It just means that you're not spending as much money. You can still have a good time, you can still have fun, but you're doing it based upon what the energy you're getting. I don't think anything is wrong with that. But as far as expectations, when a man pays for a date, he is just looking, like Ryan was saying, for her to be interested, genuinely interested. That's all.
Okay. I can get with, like I said, a coffee date, because like I said, sometimes women we know we're not interested, and I can speak for myself, and and you go home and be like, I should have followed my instinct, but you already ate his $100 plus meal or whatever. But I can understand somewhat.
Yeah, I'm not doing a coffee date because you spend the same time. I'm not doing lunch dates. I'm not doing none of that. I want to go and eat good and I'm gonna have a good time too. So I just wanted to be genuine, So yeah, I'm not gonna waste, because really in 3 dates you're supposed to be moving on to the next stage, I believe, or at least on the same page. And it's hard to get there on 3 coffee dates. Kind of is no romance.
It was funny because I was having a conversation with one of my male friends, and he was saying that he went on a date, three dates, and he spent about $750. So after the dates were over, then she was like, kind of like after the 3rd date, was like, I'm not interested anymore. He was like, what you mean you're not interested?
Tough game.
So I feel bad for y'all on that aspect, because like I said, maybe, I don't know, maybe he did something that was off that made her say after the 3rd date, no, I'm sorry. So anyone else want to add to that before we move on?
I would say the beginning of the date, I'm not spending that much money, because if you're just getting to know somebody, just hanging out here and there, not saying that I'm trying to be cheap or anything like that, but $200 just to go out on first couple dates, not happening. Unless I'm just, just feeling good that day or whatever. And it's kind of just because, and even if it don't work out, the date or anything like that, I'm not thinking about the money or anything like that. But to like purposely, like I'm going to spend $200 to hang out with this girl, that's not going to happen. Because it really shouldn't be about the money anyway. So if she hanging out with you just for a good time, because you can go to the park, hang out on the first date. You can go to like an arcade, something fun, and then you're kind of getting more to know each other, because that's more the reason to even start going out on dates, is to get to know each other. So spending that money to get to know somebody, negative.
I get it. And it's not, like I say, I wouldn't say it's all about the money all the time. Like I say, if you accept my number and accept my date, I'm gonna have expectations. I don't care where we go. You know what I mean? I go on more expensive dates these days because I go on less dates. I don't serial date as like I used to when I was younger. So now if I go on a date, that means I really have high interest for that female. So I'll go on a better date. So a place I want to go, place I want to have a good time. It's easier for me to plan something that I like doing, other than me trying to come up with a picnic or something like that. So I'll do that. But even if I did do something that was for the free, I expect her to have, be a certain way during the date, because I'm giving my time. You accepted the date. I'm thinking you have high interest. I will hope, that everything matches up.
And I can see that. So Sean, do you think because we're in a different like age bracket that, like you said, is more intentional now? Because, like I said, with you dating, you like, okay, you've been talking to her, you put the intention behind it. Now you're like, we going out. So now there's, more to it, and you don't have the time to waste. We all have businesses. We all have stuff we're doing. So you're like, I don't have time to be playing, footsie under the table, and you don't really like me.
Yeah, I would agree. And I've had to adjust and adapt being newly single from being recently divorced. So the dating environment has changed. So I think it's somewhere in the middle for me. Like I saw one of the ladies in the chat mention like having phone conversations. especially now with the pandemic and all that good stuff. There's more conversations that are going to take place before we meet up in person. So before I would start doling out hundreds and hundreds of dollars, I want to know, based on our interactions, our conversations, hell, we could do FaceTime, we could do all types of connections to make sure we really like each other before I start investing hundreds of dollars, on a date. Obviously I'm expected to pay. That's not an issue. But I don't want to waste my time in the sense of we're going out, we're eating, I'm investing significant amount of one-on-one time and energy and finances. And it's like, oh, we're just going to be friends. You know what I mean? So I think that intentionality is important, and doing some of that groundwork in the beginning to make sure that connection is really there.
Awesome. And JL, do you want to add anything before we move on?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, the high end dates, that's great. I like to eat at nice restaurants like my guy Ron. But the only thing about that is when you start out like that, you gotta keep it like that. They're gonna want to do it all the time. You can't say I want Chick-fil-A today. They're gonna go back to Seasons 52 and some of the major platforms, feeding places. So 5-star, so you got to be careful about that a little bit.
I
$200
totally
first
agree.
date. I mean, they thinking you're a high roller. So
And we going home, call our girls, be like, "Oh, we spent 200, and he was still spending." Before we even get in the car, good, we gonna be linking the phone to the car, like, "Oh, girl." So you already know how that goes. So yeah, I get it. There's should be some type of balance that we, balance it out, and basically phone conversation to see what type of girl you're dealing with. So this is the juicy question. Like, I really want to know, because we always are confused about the woman that's saying that that's her man. No, I'm sorry, wrong question. So women out here claiming y'all. Now, Ron said he's newly in a relationship. So with that being said, is it a relationship? When is it a relationship? Is it when you guys say it? Because a lot of times, girls, we are going out with you guys. You're going to these fancy restaurants. JL just spent $200 on me. We've been on 3 dates. So I'm telling my girls, that's my man. So is it a relationship? Or is it not a relationship until you guys say so?
I'll start. I would say it is not a relationship until the guy gives you confirmation. And I've been guilty of this, and a lot of men have. We'll play that gray line forever because it works in our favor. And a lot of stuff don't work in our favor. That works in our favor. So you really need to say, "Hey, remember we sat down here and you asked me to be in a committed relationship with you. It was Sunday, 3:00. The game was on, so you have something in writing, because that's how men think. We're logical, we're businessmen. You got to get the contract signed, I believe. So I wouldn't go off that. You know what I mean? Get the contract signed, make me commit, say, hey, or I came to you and said, we're in a relationship, at least you have that. Or you asked me and I said, yes, we are in a relationship. You can always go back to that. If not, we're going to play that gray area as long as we can, because it works in our favor.
So how long y'all playing that gray area? Because my sister girls out here, they need some help now. Because they out here like, this is my man. And then I'm like, I don't think so. Did he tell you? And then even when you meet guys now, you're like, are you in a relationship? And he's like, no. But now you have to ask, okay, is there anyone out there that thinks she's in a relationship with you? So we have to ask. Ron said we got to sign a contract.
Yeah, it gotta be you gotta get it down black and white. And yeah, like I said, a lot of women let us get away with that gray area. And it's their job to kind of say, hey, this is my expectations. Are we together? Yes or no? And he's still going to try to maybe dance and run around that, but you can't dance around a yes or no question. If it's too long, pretty soon he's going to have to give you the real. And if it's yes, at least you have that now. So now if you catch him somewhere with another woman or something like that, he's like, hey, you said yes. We sat down here. We were together. No gray area. We have a problem now,
So is that because he know that she's not the one? Because it's kind of like, if you know that she the one, maybe you would want to go ahead and snatch her up. But if you like, okay, I like her, but I'm not really like, feeling her like that. Is that why you don't commit verbally
No, it's not that. It's more, like I said, it's an advantage for us to play the gray area because you can go. You never know. Like I said, as a man in the gray area, you're looking at it as you're treating her as a relationship. That's why she's having those type of feelings. That's why she's telling her girls, and that's why she thinks she's in a relationship. So you have what you want of the deal. She's locked down. She has high feelings for you guys to feel like you're in a relationship. But to a man, we value the most thing we value is, I mean, I know some people say it's our resources, but I don't believe that. I always believe the most thing that men value is our freedom. And if we can still keep a little freedom in the back pocket, just in case this woman go crazy tomorrow or she flip the lid or something gonna happen, then we have a way to get out of the situation easily and smooth because we can say we were never in there in the first place. So that's why a man's gonna play the gray area forever, no matter how much he likes you, because it's an easy escape. Just in case something goes wrong, we can have our freedom back just like that because we never committed in the first place.
So Monique King says that shouldn't be the woman's job. Men should lead. But you're saying like basically it's like a game. So anybody else on the panel want to add to that? Like, about the women, assuming that that's her man.
Well, I just want to say, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Well, I just want to say you definitely need to know and confirm, get that yes before, because your feelings are gonna be hurt out here thinking that this is you thinking this is your man and he doing everything he want to do, and you telling people, hey, we together, and you got to get some confirmation going on, most definitely.
Yeah. Bottom line, I would say it all boils down to communication, because y'all have to communicate that, okay, what is this? So I wouldn't necessarily say, oh, it's a man's job to say that we're in a relationship. But I would say it's both of y'all job to make sure that y'all agree that y'all are in a relationship or not. Because a lot of times people gonna take it and run with it, and men will do the same thing. I know women, they'll be like, that's my man or whatever. But a man, when they see her talking to somebody else, like, hold up, wait a minute. What you doing?
I have to see that because, like, you got JL, the music producer. You got you out here, Mike. You doing your thing, Corey. All he got to do is open his mouth. Then you got Sean over here, newly divorced, and he the man out here. They just say when he come on the scene, they like he's a banker. And then you got Ryan over here, so he's out here. They just see Ready to Love, and they're like, oh, he's a businessman. So when women sometimes attach themselves to someone, like, oh, I'm already his wife. We having 2 kids. We got a house and a dog. So. How do y'all prevent that, like, from, or, try to, get around that from happening, or you just let it happen, or just let her figure it out?
Well, I think having those conversations up front is good. So I think that's a lot of times where men and women go wrong in the relationship, is that, or the start of a relationship, is not being clear about what you want. And so if I'm gonna, I've learned, especially from being married and prior to that dating, it's just better to be upfront. So if I'm in a space where I'm not looking to settle down, then I'm just going to say that, right? Because at this stage, I'm newly divorced. I would get married again, but not in 3 months. So I'm not in that space for anybody that I'm going to be spending time with, that I'm looking to be that serious. I want to date, expand my options, see what's out there. So I'm clear about that, or I steer clear if I see that a woman is extra attached. I'm not going to put myself in a position where she's going to think something is more than it is. And I think for me, that's the best way that I can control that, is not putting myself in situations that are going to get me that outcome. When I was younger, I probably loved the gray area because you can just kind of play around in there and have fun. And you can just not say things, right? So it can be like the lies of omission. But right now, that's not where I am. And I'd rather just be upfront and not have anybody, looking out my window when I get to my car, who's behind me, or trying to figure out what I'm doing. So that's my thought.
I totally agree. And I appreciate your honesty, when you're not in a, place to, ready to date. And you're just like, hey, listen here, I'm out here just living, we could be friends. So I heard something interesting on the panel when you guys said that, you may not claim her at that time, but then when somebody else starts talking to her, you looking like, so what is that about when guys do that? You really not trying to talk to her, but when you see someone else talking to her, then now you're interested. Is that true intention, or you true you just really want her, or is it because you want think someone else wants her?
I think I don't act out like that, but I feel like a lot of times you may not realize how much feelings you have for that person until you see them actually looking like they're getting ready to take off and go somewhere else. And it's like, dang, I really do like her more than I thought I did. Okay, let me go get her back now.
Okay, so I'm glad you said that, Mike, because sometimes it just seems like a game, because you're like, okay, a lot of women like, okay, he don't want to talk to me until, he think I'm doing something else. And, like, what's up with that? Like, you was okay with me just sitting over here in my, grandma, robe or whatever. And now you just see me out here popping on IG or something, or, whatever happens, then he all of a sudden just want to send flowers. So, yeah, women always ask that question. So anyone else want to add to that?
Yeah, I'll add, Kia. I'll just say, like, and I don't want to say every man, but most of us, we're definitive, right? So if we really like you straight out the gate and we're going to see a long-standing relationship, we're going to go after you, or we're going to do things that are going to make you, know that we're interested. That temporary spark from seeing somebody else interested in you might make us rethink, like, oh, am I missing out on something? But even if we double back, it's not going to be a long-term thing, so even, women shouldn't get caught up in that. If they see a guy double back to them, I don't want to mess up anybody's game, but he might double back. He's not going to be double back and staying for long. It's going to be a quick double back and he's going back to whatever, the next thing that occupies his attention.
Can you say that to the people again in the back?
If the dude double back on you, it's not for a long time. It's for a short time. Trust me.
Okay. Y'all hear that in the back. Because, Sean over here dropping them gems. I'm like, y'all might want to, make sure you listen. So
I can add something I'll tell ladies this. If you're going to be claiming a man before you got a verbal or something like that, please have something to stand on. Don't be that woman that ain't done nothing in that relationship. You ain't cooked the meal. You're not giving this guy anything. And then you're thinking he's yours. And then he fires back on you and say, I've been telling you, I like to cook meal. You ain't used that stove as clean as a whistle. You ain't used the stove one time. I got dishes in the sink. Only thing you've done is come over here, ate, and sit back, relax, and watch TV and things like that. You've not added anything to this relationship. So why would I think it's something more than what it is? Because you're not really focused on adding any value to the relationship. A woman should be able to brag and say, where are we? I be doing this, doing this. If you want me to keep on, doing this and being down for you like that, you need to put a ring on it. You need to verbally say that we're in a relationship. You should be able to stand on that. If you're sitting there with your fingers crossed and he calls you out, you don't want to be in that situation as a woman. So make sure you put it in your work too.
Yeah, I'm a little bit different. I think that, if I see a woman that I'm talking to, she talks to another man. First of all, let me back it up a little bit and talk about the setting the right expectations, right? So when you're dating, that's exactly what you're doing. You're dating. So that means you can be dating more than one person if you want to. That's perfectly fine as long as both parties are setting the proper expectations. So if you're dating more than one person, then of course, yeah, she may be dating another guy, but you have to be confident in yourself. I think a lot of men lose themselves trying to do more when they see another guy come in the picture. And when they do that more, it's not really authentically them. So they end up trying to show something that's not going to be them 100% of the time. So I'm going to still be me. Okay. You either going to get in the train or you're not going to get in the train one way or another. I'm just going to be me. So if I can win you over, cool. If I can't, okay, I wish you the best. But I want to be 100% authentically myself because a lot of people do lose themselves when going through that. So yeah, that's me.
Well, Corey, I got questions for Corey, okay? I just froze up. So Corey, so you said dating, okay? You like, we could date. So when does it become serious? When do you just like, okay, I don't need these 3 different other people? Because like Ron said, you get tired. Like you going to 3 different women or 2?
To be honest with you, sometimes when you make that decision at that time. But for me, I try to give myself at least 90 days. 90 days even in corporate, 90 days, that 90-day rule for the corporate is so important. You get to know a lot about a person within them 90 days. It's hard for a representative to just be maintaining for 90 straight days. So I gather the information that I have from 90 days, and I make a decision: do I want to move forward with you, or do I not move forward with you? You know, and I have to give myself that amount of time. Some people might say, like, why 90 days? Because if I'm dating multiple people, you know, that's going to be kind of cut up. You know, if I'm just dating just one person, it probably come to me a little bit sooner than 90 days. But for the most part, I give myself 90 days. I analyze what I have, and then I make that decision. Who going to join that team?
Wait, so you know, Corey, you still haven't learned your lesson from the other night. You go out the women in here acting up. Okay.
Hey, I just got tickled because somebody said Ron is looking for a maid for a wife. I got real.
All I asked for was what, one meal and a dish to be one dish. that's the value that we get in these days out here in these streets.
He should be able to get it, spending $200 on the first date, right?
Yeah, you know what I mean. I do my part. Women walk by your dishes. They leave you hungry. Man, it's the stuff out here. I'm telling you.
I can agree because at my stove, when you said the clean stove, I was like, that would be my stove. But do you know, like I said, so Corey kind of led into it. He said he would know. He said he got the 90-day grace period. So what do you guys think? Like, how long does it take you to kind of know or get a vibe that, you know, you want to settle down or you want to be exclusive?
90 days scare me because, like I said, when you want to be exclusive with a woman, I want to be intimate with her, and I'm not waiting 90 days. I just can't do it. So I got to figure out my situation before that.
Anyone else?
I think you'll know probably before the 90 days if you're interested in them or not. But I know it's like no time you can really put on it. But 90 days, I think you'll know by then, for sure.
Oh, welcome, Dr. O. We got Dr. O in the house. So, Dr. O, when do you know? Okay. You're muted.
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, I'm definitely for 90 days. I think it's definitely a feel by situation. I think, you know, I think you have an understanding with a woman, you can figure that you have to figure it out. So I get what Corey has to say about waiting for that time. You can't rush the situation. I understand that. I honestly think, you know, especially now, you kind of know by the end of date number 2 if things are going to go in that direction or not. You don't really need to spend that 90 days. Now, from the start till that date, it could happen a lot faster. Some people are talking on the phone before they can progress on the date. Some people, like, you know what, they can meet someone, meet them, you know, go on a date and figure things out. In my experience, I can say for me, hopefully by end of a month, you kind of know exactly if someone's in a romantic relationship, you have romantic feelings or you have platonic feelings. So again, waiting 90 days to see if there's a romantic spark, that's kind of way too much time. I don't know any women who was that interested in a guy is going to wait that long before they make a move.
So is that because of kind of what Brian kind of hit on?
Right. I think so, yeah. I would say that, you know, a woman knows instantly if they're romantic into you or not. So again, what's the whole point of waiting 90 days? They're gonna give you the hints. They're gonna show you exactly what their intentions are. Hopefully, if not during the first date, definitely by date number 2, the prelude to those dates. I think that's key. You're gonna know exactly how things are gonna address or things are gonna play out.
Okay,
I think for me, yeah, I just want to talk about that for a second. Like, why the 90 days? Because I need the same thing the women ask us for. I need consistency. So the date 2, I may know. Like Mike said, I don't know before 90 days, but I'm not going to make that statement. I'm not going to come out at it until those 9 days are up because I need to see consistency. I don't get into relationships just to be in them. I get into them for longevity. I don't do relationships that last 4 or 5 months and we break up. The reason why I don't have a relationship like that is because I use 90 days to make sure this is the right fit for me. I'm the right fit for her. That way, it's no surprises that come up down the line where we have to break up in 4 months or 5 months. So that consistency is key for me. Like Ron was saying, if you need a woman that's going to cook, okay, you're going to see if she's going to cook for you on a regular basis in 90 days. You can see that the first time you date her, she may cook for you that first day, but realize, you know, she's not the type that cooks all the time. So it's just whatever your preferences are, you're going to see those preferences pretty soon within those 90 days, but you're looking for those 90 days for that consistency in your preferences. That's why I say 90.
So that kind of like hit on what JL said. You know, you take her to that $200 restaurant, then she's going to be expecting that $200 every time. So how consistent are you as men? Are you guys being consistent? Like other than the $200 meal, are you being consistent in the things that you're doing? Or your friends, not so much as you, the guys you hear, like, you know, y'all have, you know, guys talking, you be like, dude, you know, you failing as a man, you're not being consistent, you know, like, how can you expect for her to, you know, want to be with you if you're not being consistent?
I would say that I'm consistent. You know, I try to keep everything as consistent as possible. I know a lot of times we tend to do a little extra in the beginning, and I think everybody does that, because it's like you're trying to hook that person. So it's like a few things you'll do more than you would normally do, because it's like, okay, I'm trying to get them, I'm trying to win them over. So it's like kind of natural to do extra stuff in the beginning, but make sure it's not overboard.
And you kind of started hitting on the next question, where like, what do you expect? Because there's somebody they messing with you, Ryan, today. They said you looking for like a housewife and everything else. So what are you looking for in a committed relationship? So what are the things that you're looking for in a committed relationship? Sean, you said you were married. What type of things are you looking from the woman? You know, like I said, I need to work on it. I don't be in here cooking nothing, you know, so brother's hungry. So what like type of things are men looking for women to do? Like, you know.
I think not every man is different, but I think there's, you know, you have a traditional man mindset, and then you might have a modern man mindset, and then you have some of us that are like somewhere in the middle. You know, for me, I like to cook. So when I was dating my wife, she happened to cook more for me than I did for her. But as our relationship progressed and we got serious before marriage, I did some cooking. And then when we did get married, I transitioned to do more of the cooking, right? Now, when it came to like household chores and other things like that, that was the area that she led in, because that's not really my wheelhouse. Like, I hate cleaning. I hate it. It drives me nuts, you know? So I think it's about finding what works for you. You know, I'm looking to see that you know, I would want a woman that can cook, you know, to be able to not have to do it all the time, or to be, you know, and then if situations change, we have children, you know, she decides to stay home for whatever reason. If that's the case, I would hope that if I'm working and she's staying at home, that, you know, that could switch. So that ability to do it. It's also looking for, you know, how do you treat me? The respect factor is key for me. You know, how do you talk to me? How do we deal when we have a disagreement? Are you open to, you know, being wrong? Or are you going to always say, like, I'm wrong? To me, that is, right? You know, that's a big thing for me. And I find that sometimes we get so caught up in one side or the next in these relationships. So I want to make sure that the next woman I'm with, we can resolve conflict easily. So those are things that I'm looking out for, is how we communicate, you know, and how you talk to me. So that's key for me.
So I know a lot of women are learning and they're coming back to like old school, because a lot of women out here doing wife duties, and, you know, he's never going to make her the wife. So, you know, is all this cooking and stuff have to do with when y'all dating? Because are y'all expecting all that stuff? Or, you know, I know Ron said if she walked past the dishes, you know, I might wash a couple of dishes. But what are the expectations when you're just in a committed relationship?
I would say, like I said, I'm more traditional in manner. I grew up in a traditional family. My dad grew up in a traditional family. So I kind of let that know up front. My expectations in the beginning is, like you said, how you started is kind of how you end. So you had to show me some stuff up front in order for me to say, hey, this is the commitment I want to make long term. So I'm not saying that, you know, like I said, she has to come over day one and cooking and cleaning. It's not really about that. What I want to see is what she does naturally. And if I don't want her to fake it out. Like what Corey said, I don't want a representative. I want a woman who, hey, this is what I do. I do this for my man usually, you know, I'm accustomed to, cooking sometimes. We all eat out all the time. I'm accustomed to doing this if he's doing this part. So I kind of look for a woman who naturally does things, not naturally who's doing it just for me or because she wants to be with me or because she's trying to wiggle in a certain situation. I mean, you even are, you're not. Like when it comes to affection, I'm an affectionate person. Touch is my love language. To me, is you even affectionate or you're not. It's not, oh, okay, I'm gonna try to do it for you. As soon as I get that, I'm gone because I'm like, you just don't. We're too old. You just don't have it in you by now. It's better for me to find somebody who already does.
Yep, I kind of agree with him on a lot of what he's saying also. But for me, I don't even like to tell everything that I expect in a relationship because a lot of times people, once you tell them what you like, then they'll start doing it because you like it. But it might be something they don't really like to do. Then later on, it becomes an issue. Then they get tired of doing what they're doing for you because that's what you said and that's not what they really want. So like that naturalness, I love that. I'd rather you do things naturally than to do it because I said something.
And that's when we send our representatives. We all, done that before. You send that representative, you doing all kind of stuff, and you like, this is not me. I never liked that.
Right.
When you get mad, you be like, I never even liked that anyway. They be like, what you?
Yeah, so if you don't like to cook, tell me you don't like to cook, and I'm good with that. I cook too. So if we either gonna go out or I'll cook. If you don't cook, then it is what it is. At least I knew that up front. We make it work.
Awesome. So anyone else want to add to that?
Yeah. When the difference between the regular relationship and marriage, I want to date my wife, to be honest with you. So I want her to come ready made. I want the things that she do for me to be natural, like the other gentleman was saying, like it's not something it's not a switch you have to click on once we get married that you start doing all these great things for me. Do great things for me now because you see I'm a great man. If you see a husband in me and I see a wife in you, then that's what we're heading towards. We'll get there together. But if you don't see that in me, then I understand that and I'll see you falling off. And likewise for me, if I don't see that in you, you'll see me falling off as well. But I think if we see that in each other, then that's a great move to make together. Yeah.
So y'all ladies hear that? I'm putting them little nuggets out there. Y'all hear he say we're supposed to be natural. So when y'all send y'all representative, they like when you pay attention and you notice stuff and you actively listen. Anyone else want to add?
Yeah, I just want to say I saw I think it was Shanae, right? She mentioned the playing house thing, and I definitely can understand that about wanting to reserve certain things, but I think also not being so fixed to a certain standard, right? Because there's flexibility on both of our parts and that willingness to kind of say, you know what, I thought I didn't want to do this. And I mean, obviously there's some things that are non-negotiable. So I'm not trying to push anybody on their non-negotiables. But I think just that openness, because sometimes people have done certain things in certain relationships and that just wasn't the right person. And then they got hurt. And now they're like, I'm never doing that again. So don't necessarily come. Sometimes you got to leave that energy where it is and deal with who you are with. And if you're with a good man that you are starting to see things from, it's the give and take. And I think the more you give and take, the more that relationship can flow. And I think women, the thing that they sometimes not all women realize how you can impact a man and how you can impact that behavior by your softness, by your willingness, by your openness, by your approach. The right approach, that right touch can move mountains with us. But sometimes if you go at it with a fight or a wall, then you're just going to meet a wall with us. So It's kind of like that ebb and flow, if I'm making sense.
Yes, Sean, you making sense. Go ahead, talk that talk.
The wall. I get it. I know there's been some men out here that have done some wrong things, but that's not all of us. And that wall, once you release that wall, and not just let us run amok, but you release the wall enough to be vulnerable, to give a little bit, it goes a long way.
Awesome. Like you got me over here like, I'm taking notes. I'm gonna have to go back and watch it with my notebook and get my life together. So you guys are dropping gems. So anyone else want to add to that question?
I just want to say how correct he was. Like I said, the two major things is if it's not natural as men, we can tell. We've been the part that we don't tell you is we've been with enough women where we've seen it natural, so we know what it feels like when it's natural. So when you come in there faking their Senate representative, we see through it. We might not tell you, but we see through it because we know what the real is like. Because we've dated enough women at this point where we've seen the real. And the second of all, we know if there's a wall up and you're not giving your all, and we know we ain't did anything to not deserve that. So then we know it's a past situation that you're holding on to, or something that another brother happened in your past, and that you're bringing that baggage on to here. Because we're like, man, I've done nothing but treat her good, like a queen. I'm doing this and that, and she's still holding back. There's no reason to hold back at this point. It must have been she was hurt in the past. It must have been something that somebody else done. And those are two things that we catch on as men real quick. We just don't say anything about it, but we know.
So I just thank you. I want to just get into the juicy stuff, what the women really want to know. Okay. So, let's talk about cheating. So a lot of times it takes a real man to just say, you know what, baby, I'm not feeling this relationship anymore. Let's just go ahead and end this. So what is the thought process? Because I know you guys have buddies. I'm not accusing, maybe you might have been a cheater in the past. I'm not going to accuse anyone of being a cheater. But what is the thought process of the men that or of men that cheat?
I'll go last.
I can start it off. I think a lot of times men don't cheat because they're tired of the person they're, tired of being with the person they're with. They just want more. It's just trying to have your cake and eat it too. So the reason why they're not leaving is because they want both. They want extra. They're just being greedy. I don't do it. So I just want to put that out there before, everybody start jumping on me like,
No, that's why I said I was clear. I said we're not accusing anyone on the panel, but you guys have friends and you guys have talk at the basketball courts or wherever you guys hang out. And I'm sure your friends like, oh, I got another baddie over here or whatever. And then you like, dude, don't do it. But how do those conversations go?
Yeah, it's I would say it's definitely greed. You just want more or something new.
Anyone else want to know?
I'll chime in. I'll say I think it boils down to two types of guys. I mean, you have the one guy who is looking for it, and they just want that smoke, and they're not ready for a relationship. They're in a relationship. They was never ready for it in the first place. And then you got that guy who ain't looking for it, but then the opportunity presents itself in a certain way. And as guys, we're not used to those type of opportunities. We don't get offered sex or a certain situation every day like women do. So a lot of times we don't know how to handle that situation. And if the guy's weak, he might fall. So he wasn't looking for it. It fell in his lap and he didn't know how to handle it. And those are two totally separate guys. One guy, like I said, wherever he get out of the house with some freedom, he's looking for another woman or he's keeping his eyes wide open. The other guy's just minding his business and something presented itself. So, I mean, those are the type of two guys I kind of see when it comes to ones that happen to cheat in a situation.
Well, we can't speak for all men because, like I said, it's only a small, y'all are only 6 men. So with that being said, you can't speak for all men. So we do understand that you just speaking in general, like the guys who you hang out with or the guys that you've had conversations with. Because if one of my girlfriends is doing something that's like shady, I'm like, now girl, you about to lose everything. Like what's going on? And she'd be like, well, this is going on. This is going on. We'll say that for the ladies panel. So Ida wants to know, she wants us to define cheating. So for me, I believe emotional cheating is cheating also, because to me, I feel like emotional cheating is more of an attachment than him having a sexual thing. So emotional is usually like something that goes on and on and on. It's hard to like break that bond. So Ida wants to know, what do you guys define as cheating?
Well, I mean, I know I define it as if we're in a relationship, you're unfaithful. So you have sex with somebody else. That's my definition. We're going to start doing emotional cheating. Then women got to get rid of their work husbands and their male friends and all that other stuff, because that falls in that category. It is dangerous. And sometimes women have love affairs with their BFFs and they want to have hot girl summers and do these trips and stuff like that. So that's not cheating in the traditional sense that we understand it, but these are some of the things that go out there. They could be dangerous to the relationship. But I mean, I just prefer to define it as sex. That way we could just be on the same page and we can agree to it and we don't have any issues.
So, Seaway, can you put in the comment what you just find as two types of cheaters?
Yeah, so for me, there are two types as well. It all comes to the same conclusion. They all cheated, but there are two types of cheaters. One, I'm sure you guys have heard me say this before, that there's a late bloomer. The late bloomer cheater is the guy who was not popular in high school, was not popular in college. He was not good looking enough to really get women, but now he's come into himself. He's got a little money. He's done well for himself. Now the women are coming. He's never experienced that before. Okay, he's with you. He cares about you. He loves you, but he's never experienced women coming to him like this before. So because of that, he's more likely, I'm not saying it's guaranteed he's going to cheat, but he's more likely to cheat because he hasn't experienced that type of attention before. Yeah, that. And then when it comes to the other type of cheater, it's just a man looking for that high. You know, I know it's about greed, but it's that high. Most of the highlights of our relationships have to do with the beginning stages. When we start talking on the phone, we're on the phone late at night, you know, talking and, you know, rub-a-dub-dubbing on the phone. And that's the high we're looking for, you know, that building that trust factor again, finding someone who's naturally into you again. There is something about that makes you feel warm and fuzzy on the inside. So I think that's more so what it's about. And because those feelings are not contained, it then turns into something that's sexual. Then it turns into, I'm not thinking about how this is going to affect my partner. I'm only thinking about myself now, you know, and that's the problem. And I think that's why a lot of women have a problem with men who have work wives or whatever, whoever they talk to about their relationship at home, you know, because that's the emotional attachment that you're having with someone else who's not your partner.
And I'm asking because I like how you guys were real direct. Like, you're just being greedy. Because I've seen men that are in denial and be like, I don't know, like Ida said, I think it was Ida who said in the comments, you just don't fall on someone's lap, or, you know, you don't just fall into it. So it's just like, okay, like, stop being in denial. So are you guys holding your friends accountable? Like, dude, you know, do y'all have real talk? Like, oh yeah, dude, go ahead. Or do you hold them accountable? Like, nah, come on, man. You know, you going down that slippery slope.
Yeah, I know. I've held some friends accountable because I know them to be late bloomers. That's why I speak on this subject. I'm like, bro, I know you're not used to this, but look what you got at home. You got a good thing going, okay? But for those guys who I know who've been cheating from day one, there's no talking to them. They feel like they have the game sold up because they haven't been caught yet. Because they haven't been caught yet, you can't tell anyone something who has not seen the other side of the coin. So there's nothing I can do with that.
So Dr. O been kind of quiet. I want to hear from Dr. O and JL. He said I was trying to fight in these streets tonight. Y'all causing problems. So go ahead.
I think we want to break down cheating. I think we break it down two categories. We have emotional cheating, and you have like physical, actually going out there having sexual relations cheating. Like, most people realize if you actually sleep with somebody or carry on having an affair, kind of that's like bad, and that's like, I think that's the taboo one. I think the emotional cheating I think that's the kind of more touchier subject, and actually what defines that. I kind of feel like if you're able to maintain a relationship with somebody else more than a friendship that's going to be harmful or dangerous to the person you're with, that can be a problem. So if people like to work, people were talking about work wives, work husbands. So if I'm able to carry on a relationship where I share parts of me that I can't share with my significant other, that's gonna be a problem. Or if there's things that I feel more comfortable sharing with somebody else and vice versa. And I think that's the main issue. Like, when we cross the bounds, I think it boils down to trust. Like, if I'm gonna be with somebody, I should be able to go with that person with everything. If I feel like I can't, then that's a problem. And I've been in situations like, you know what, this bit of information is probably not, I can't share this with my girl right yet, but I can share it with the best friend and work wife. And then I think that could be an issue, definitely with relationships going forward. It can be a trust thing, but at the same time, what do you feel comfortable with? Most guys, there are certain people they've known for a long period of time, or that they can go with certain information just to fill out. Sometimes that's all they need. Now, if you're using that to gain some type of future, some type of relationship or something more deeper down the road, I think, or you have mischievous thoughts, that's an issue. But if you can actually, like, you know what, this is a friend that I trust with, like, you know what, I'm going through a hardship in my life, or just something happened at work, or it's like, you know what, there's a family issue goes by, let me just bounce it off to see exactly what I've said. If the person you're with is going to have issue with that, then you know you're crossing the line. But if you feel like, you know what, I'm just getting advice from a friend, I'm getting advice from college, someone I can trust, to me, that's not too bad. It crosses the line when it's like, you know what, it becomes more than a platonic situation to a romantic one. And guys, I think most guys know, like, okay, I'm feeling this woman, versus like, you know what, this is someone who's been down for me for like X amount of years. I know she has my back, you know, she's not looking for me to mess up or anything, versus she's looking for something from me. That's the issue that you have to try to address with.
Awesome. Good point. So what do you think, JL? Or do you want to wait for the next question?
Well, I really don't have a whole lot to say on that, but I do want to say, man, it's some guys, it's two, like you guys said, it's two different type of cheaters. But man, I got friends that's like some hound dogs. Like, you know, when they go out, you know, they going to hunt. You know what I'm saying? Girlfriend, wife, it don't matter what it is, they going to hunt. But like, I'm just more of a laid back guy, you know what I'm saying? And I just kind of, like, you know, try my best to chill on that. So, you know, but I mean, you know, and a lot of things, but you know, a lot of times women, um, man, they consider everything to be cheating. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you could be friends with ladies or whatever, and they're swearing down you doing so, because majority of my friends are women. You know what I'm saying? And we like homies, you know what I'm saying? But I've dated women before that didn't want me to talk to my friends that I've been friends with before we even got together. So I mean, that's a situation in itself
But
as well.
see, JL, if she's your friend before and the woman is coming in, that's a different situation. But it's
Yeah.
different when all of a sudden he got a new friend and a new
Well, so I
work
introduce
wife.
my people. I introduce my friends to my girl. You see what I'm saying? Because I want them. I mean, if they want to go hang out without me, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? And do their thing. But no, I don't hold nothing back. You know, I introduce everybody because I want everybody to be comfortable.
So I'm just glad you guys are being transparent, and I learned a new one. You know, Sean got the late bloomers out here now. They popping out these streets. So Sean, that's my new word, late bloomers. So let's just go ahead and move along.
That was Corey. I can't take credit for that.
That was Corey. I thought that. Okay, Corey said it. Okay, sorry, Corey. You out here dropping all this shit. Okay? He's trying to make up for the other
I
night.
tell you, so it's tough.
Okay, so women, we sometimes be doing extra stuff. Okay, we be doing, you know, like, I know y'all be talking about our lashes, them big, you know, lashes that we sometimes have on. So as a man, what do you guys actually find sexy about a woman, and what do you find as a turn off? Because sometimes we be, I mean, I know we're dressing for ourselves, but some stuff we be doing over, like, I'm gonna show him.
Natural beauty. You know, we don't really get, I mean, honestly, we really don't get a whole lot of natural beauty anymore. I mean, because everybody's doing so much. Like, I don't mind the nails, I don't mind the eyelashes, I don't mind a little you know, weave or whatever. But when you start going overboard, it's starting to get a little crazy, you know. So that's what's starting to come to issues, because I'm seeing eyelashes now looking like windshield wipers.
So we're gonna get into that. So we might as well just go ahead and jump into that question, JL. So when y'all say natural beauty, you know, that still confuses us as women, because I've heard men say natural beauty, but you like, but your girl got a wig on, or you know, or she wears light foundation. So is it like maybe minimum, like, because we're trying to get clarity on what is natural.
Well, I mean, like, you know, some people are caking makeup on their face now, you know what I'm saying? And just unbelievable stuff going on. Like, me personally, I would like to be able to wake up to my woman, you know what I'm saying, with nothing, and she still look nice. I'm still attracted to her, you know what I'm saying? And when she you know, when she do put makeup on, and you know, hair done and eyelashes and everything, that's just to enhance the beautiful, you know, the beauty that she already have. So I don't really like a woman that's got just too much going on. Like, you know, that's just me personally.
Okay, so what else do guys find sexy? JL said the natural. So what else do we have going on?
Confidence. You need to be confident in yourself, and if If I'm into you, I am into you. So if we get in the bed, don't hide your stomach. I want all of that. Let it all out. Because if I want you, I want you. I want all of it. I want to kiss every part of all of that. I want it all.
So, Mike, we can take off all these body shapers and all these things.
Take it off.
Dr. O put his hand out.
But I want to know it's there before all that come off. So you put on the waist trainer and your stomach flatten, and all of a sudden, poof. You know, I want to know it's there beforehand. You know, let me get to love you the way you are. Don't hide it.
And it seems like we being fooled sometimes. No shade to the women at all, but it seems like we being fooled a lot because you on Facebook, Instagram, and you're looking at these women. You're like, oh my God, she's gorgeous, and then she take all this stuff off, and you like, oh man, what have I got myself into? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So quit fooling us, man. Give us a real deal sometimes. So
had that Friday experience.
Yeah, man, it's crazy.
But see, women think that because we see what y'all looking at, that you're like, okay, well, that's what he's looking at, so that's what he's attracted to. So, you know, that's when the women become, like you said, you know, with the weave down, you know, her behind or whatever. Because when you was at the, you know, wherever you were at, you was looking hard. So, you know, women, it's hard to distinguish, like, what is he really attracted to?
Well, another thing, let me say this and I'm gonna move on, but I just want to say also when women taking pictures and they showing their butt because they want you to see their butt on social media, they get mad at the guys, you know, when they trying to holler at them because of the butt. So stop, you know what I'm saying? If you don't want to be approached because you thick out here, as they call it, then, you know, you don't have to show that. Just be a beautiful lady and just show us what you want us to focus on.
Exactly.
Y'all heard Mike said that confidence is a real turn on. So any other like real turn ons that men, like, you know, we might be missing the mark?
I think it's really important for ladies to know themselves. It's really important. I know it's kind of it's parallel with confidence, but knowing yourself and knowing what you want in a relationship. Too often we hear women look at other couples and say, okay, I want that. But you're not understanding what it took to get that type of relationship. You know, the work that goes into getting a relationship like that. So I think that if ladies come to the table knowing exactly what they want, and then knowing what they don't want too, that'll really help them out long term.
This is gonna sound maybe like a little bit of a reach, but I find it like I had like not a like close friend, but somebody that I recently encountered, and she apologized about something that we were just having like a disagreement about on a fact or whatever, but she apologized. And I find that especially now being in these YouTube streets and social media, a lot of women will stick to a point, and no matter what you say, they feel like they're right, and they will never admit that they could be wrong about something. For me, that was so important, and it just made me feel good. So I was like, I think I'm adding that to my little short list of willing to admit you're wrong and apologizing, and not about nothing stupid like, oh, I mistakenly forgot to add, you know, tissue to the shopping list and I yelled at you about it. No, that's silly stuff. I'm talking about something that means a lot to you. You argued me down about it, but then you took time to sit back and reflect on what I said, and then you're willing to come back and say you're sorry. Like that kind of stuff, we can build a forever relationship there.
And that's what's up, as long as y'all willing to do the same for us.
100%. 100%. I think men, we are often in the position to apologize. Like we have gotten very comfortable with that aspect. I just find a lot of ladies, they don't lead with that. So no, Jay, you ain't never apologized to me.
I think
Jay, they get in trouble. So I like that. This is what you gave us, because, you know, like I said, it's not just physical. You know, you said other than you said, you know, you guys said that you want us to be confident, able to apologize. Anyone else want to add before we move on? Because now we want to talk about these things.
Yeah, I just want to say, I mean, this makeup hair thing gets to be too out of play. I guess very taboo subject, but I just want to keep it simple. Dress like how you want me to take you. If you want to dress like we want to go out Saturday night 10 p.m., that's fine. But understand, like, if you know that you want to go certain places, and that's if you want me to take you certain places, certain events, you have to be able to dress the part. So if you're not going to dress the part, do what the part is. What are we talking for? I'm gonna find someone that can fit that scenario and take that person there. So if I want to go to a particular black tie event, I'm trying to go to a particular formal events, I'm not going to bring the person that's going to be Instagram famous or the person that meet at Magic City to that event. I'm going to bring someone that can actually compliment me or make me feel that, you know what, this person can actually fit there. That's at least what I'm looking for.
Now, what you doing in Magic City?
I'm just saying, I might be in Magic City. Them chicken wings are on fire.
I told you to stay out the places, Dr. O. So again, Shanae just added something extra. So I think y'all do look for loyalty and all those things. I can't see integrity. You find those things attractive, right? What Shanae is saying.
Yeah, I want to add the one that gets missed a lot is a woman that's fun and funny. I think we put a notion on that woman's friend zone or that's the home, but it's not. The women used to be that back in the day. And now we've gotten so serious. It's like every relationship or every date I've been on has been so serious and so straight to the point. And where's the woman you could laugh with, joke with, have fun with, kick it with, and just she's always bubbly. She's always positive mood and things of that nature. It goes a long way than it gets going straight to how many kids you want to have, how many, how's our finances going to go together and stuff like that. When you got fun with your girl, she's funny, she cracks good jokes, she has that type of personality, it sets a different standard, I feel, for kind of how you move with her.
But I'm glad you added that because, that's something that, like you said, everybody's so serious and people don't want to have fun because I like that in a man. Like, okay, I need you to crack a joke every now and then. Don't be, like what they say, your boxer's too tight. Like, what's going on? Like, we can't breathe around here. So that was a good point. So let's just jump into these finances. So I was kind of like feeling some type of way when they was out here calling me and Dusties and all kind of stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, let's just break it down. So when you're looking for a woman for long term, does it matter about her finances? Like if she's making less than you, is she at the same, amount that you were making, or is she making more than you? So are you insecure if she makes way more? So what are your thoughts on each one?
Okay, so I just want a woman who's self-sufficient. If she can stand on her own 2 feet and take care of herself, that's all I need. I don't need her to necessarily do more than that and just take care of me. I just need her to take care of herself. If she can do that, that's fine. Now, a woman who makes more than me, that has nothing to do with anything. It's really about how she treats me. Does she still respect me? When I walk in the house, is there still respect there? Does she look at me like I'm just a kid in the house? So that's what's important to me, those two.
Okay, that's a big thing, respect. And I think it comes with maturity, because I probably was that chick back in the day, who was like, yeah, this and that or whatever. But, when you learn, you do better. So what else? Do anybody else have any feedback on that question? Like, do you date someone that's making less than you, or does it have to be like real close to where you're at?
Well, I would say, like he said, someone that can take care of themselves. But I just feel like that if she's making, decent money or making the same amount, or it really don't matter, but just as long as we able to do some great things together, you know what I'm saying? Like not taking away from what I'm, not spending all the money up and blowing the money. We able to do, put our finances together and do some amazing things that we both would like to do and stuff like that. That's my thing.
Yeah, because like I said, I got mad love for the black man. Because like I said, Crystal added it. I stopped calling black men Dusty because I was like on the floor, like, why are we calling people Dusties? We already got enough, things going against us. So, we are here, like, as, black people, making it work, sticking together.
Dr. O look like he got something on his mind.
He said, he at Magic City with the chicken wings, they calling him out. Dr. O, go ahead and speak on it.
No. I'll check in later. I'm doing something real quick. Something real important.
Because a lot of women think that it's all about the money. So, like sometimes they're like, okay, well, I haven't heard anyone really touch on like kind of like if she's like making way less than you, you know, is she like a candidate, or she has to be like at the same amount?
I would speak on each of the levels. I've dated every single level of, I feel, of women's finance. Like I said, I've dated a woman who probably made $500,000 a year. And like what Corey said, because I never knew, because she never brought it up. It never was something she threw in your face. So, you know, like I said, we'll fight over the dinner bill, you know, sometimes, or this and that. And it was just never a situation. It was a regular relationship. You never really knew the difference. I think a lot of times women lead with money now these days. And that's what throws everything off, because it's kind of disrespectful to the man that she's leading with her finances. Me personally, if finance is not a problem, why are we speaking on it all the time? You know what I mean? Like it's not a situation. Everybody's bills are paid. We're not having no problems paying for dates. Everything is good. Let's worry about something else at that point. Now, a woman that's way less, the only problem, like what Corey said, is if she's not self-efficient, then her problems then become your problems. And if you're getting all her problems, sometimes it gets annoying. You're like, man, you can't. I got to pay your phone. I got to get your phone bill. And you're always asking for money on here. It's not because she's trying to use you. You know that, because she is doing her part on other things. But it's like, you don't got time to be worried about a phone bill, or if she got gas in her car, or some of the basic necessities. And then when those women, it almost seems like it's always a problem. No matter what's going on, she got something going on negative in her situation, because she can't get herself out of the, you know, the bare minimums of the necessities. So it's like, man, I know every guy says, okay, I'll date the woman that works at Denny's if she treats me right and she looks good. But there's other problems that go with that, when she's in your face begging you for every little thing all the time, and it gets annoying after a while.
Yeah, I don't mind on either level of the finances on the woman, as long as, you know, her mind is set right. The mid level is good, the high level is good. The low level, the only issue that comes, well, I ain't gonna say the only issue, but one of the issues that come with that is if her head is in the right place. But if she wants to be stuck down there, and it's like, you know, yeah, I'm gonna have him pay for anything that I can't afford, or I can't do this. You can't get your credit straight. It's like everything is in a negative place for you. You don't know how to spend your money, or you're spending money crazy knowing you don't have it like that. You know, then that's when it becomes an issue. Because I've been in relationships like that where it's like, okay, you know, you don't have the money, so why are you spending it? And then now you're coming to me like, oh, you know what? I need this to pay my lights. Oh, I need this to pay my gas, you know, whatever. And it's like, but you had it the other day and you spent it on whatever. So that's usually where the bigger issue comes in with that. And then, like, I can't remember who was saying it about the person that's making more money than you. Don't look at me like I'm no little fella, because I don't care where you at up here, because I'm still up there too.
So are y'all finding that so much now with, you know, being in an older age bracket? Because at a certain point you should be learning how to be self-sufficient. So are women still coming off as, like you said, not self-sufficient? Maybe, like, you know, where you like, okay, because some people can make a lot of money and blow it all.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, you run into some women sometimes. Every woman knows how to play the part. Man, they play this role better than men all day long. They come with the purse and this, and they know how to talk this and that. And then it gets in a situation when you get deeper in it, you'd be like, man, I don't think the finances are all there like that. And she's continuing to spend money and going on trips to Miami and things of this nature. And you like, you know, everything's not there. And then sooner or later, when it's not there, you become the fall guy for things that she can't pay for, and say, oh, okay, well, I'm late on my car note. And you're like, you just went to Miami 3 weeks ago. Like, what's going on? And it kind of throws you off. So
y'all pay attention. They saying they paying attention, so you come out.
Yeah, we pay attention to those type of things. And then, so sometimes it's because, like I said, every woman can look the part. So, you know, they can they can get that fake Louis purse, and they can put on some nice heels and things of that nature. And women can talk business all day long. They're very good, very smart at the stuff. But pretty soon, the real finances kind of come out, and you kind of know what you're dealing with.
Hey, Ron, a lot of times, man, when you asking them about what they're doing with their money, sometimes they get a little heated, man.
Yeah. Yes.
They
Well,
get heated, man.
I personally don't ask, or I kind of stay out of that situation, because me personally, if I'm like I say, I'm more traditional. So if I'm going to marry you, then for the most part, your money's your money, no matter how much you were kind of making. In my head, I don't have access to go in your purse and grab $200 and go go off to the mall. You know what I mean? That's not what I feel a man does. So I'm not trying to be all up in your finances, but when you start asking me for stuff on the back end, you know what I mean, then I can, I ask a few more questions of what's going on here for the most part.
Yeah, I'm definitely asking questions.
Because like I said, I was guilty. Like I said, I take ownership. I will fight you to the end. Be like, so what? I bought this, but you learn, you do better. So yeah, we have to do better, because again, you guys are watching, and if we want a long-term relationship, we want to make sure we're financially stable and good stewards of our money. So Dr. O, you want to add anything before we move on? Because I think you were down there thinking hard.
We can move on.
Okay, awesome.
Okay, I got one more thing on this. It gives one quick point. Women, stop being so cheap with your men, though. I mean, if you are making some money and y'all got some money coming in, you bragging, you making 80, you making 100. I mean, you ain't spent no money on this guy. You instead of, what I mean? It's okay. Get him some socks, a watch here. Don't be afraid to spend some money on the guy that's taking care of you, because we see you spend his money on the most dumbest things on the end, and then you're like, he never spent a dime on me like that, and it makes us feel disrespected in some kind of way. Like, man, if you're gonna spend it, put some of your resources towards us. We doing our jobs every day. What's going on?
Well, Ron, I'm with you. Like I said, if a man is taking care of business, I don't mind spending. So like I said, listen, I told one of my friends before, I said, your man is paying the mortgage and all this stuff, girl, you better go work it out, do something, because most, women around here, we out here, bold. So I respect that you would say, like, yeah, you can spend a couple of coins on him if he paying like the major bills. I agree.
I'll tell you this. My prime example with my sister. I'm introduced her to a guy. She's looking at the guy, and you guys educated, he got everything going. He's trying to treat her good, and she's mad at him because of how he's dressed, his clothes. And you over here making so much money a year, then take the man shopping. You know what I mean? Buy him what you want to see him in and stuff like that. You have the money. Why is that an issue? You're being cheap.
So I appreciate that, Ron. Like I said, I have to totally agree, because I've seen people, and I think that comes with your upbringing too, where, people tell you like, oh, well, you don't do this for a man, you don't do this or whatever. And then you get that mindset. And even if you get a good man, you don't know how to treat him, because you've been, conditioned to, you don't do that. He gonna cheat on, just all kind of things that we are conditioned. So ladies, pay attention. If you got a man that's taking care of you, you don't have to, hold on some coins that tight, because, you can get a broke one. Look, Coach said no cheap women in 2022.
I see.
So Corey, I think, got the business yesterday. So since we already talking about finances, let's say, okay, so about the living situation. So do you think the men should pay the mortgage, so or it should be 50-50 like roommates?
Hey, the fact that you said roommates is already funny. Because I mean, a lot of people, when you say 50-50, women be getting sensitive about that. But I think the man should definitely pay the mortgage, though. Most definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. I think that the mortgage should come standard. I don't think that. Well, I'll say this: if a man decides to pay all of your bills and his too, that's his business, and he wants to do that. But as you being a good woman, I would think you would at least be able to pour back into the family. Okay, so you have money that you're working hard for, but you're not spending it on any bills. What are you doing with that money? How are you pouring it back into the family? Because it has to be equal contribution to the building of the family. So I find issue with that. If the man is doing all the pouring and then you going out and just spending your money, buying Birkin bags and stuff like that, but you're not pouring into the family. That's the issue I have with it.
And I get it. Like I said, I'm with Ron what he said, because I know a lady that her husband was paying the mortgage, taking care of business. And she, when a trip came up, she was like, oh, he can't go on the trip because he don't have no money. Like, he paying all these bills. And I'm like, I feel sorry for the brother. He wasn't even my man. I was like, he can't go. So you didn't even mention the trip to him because you didn't want to fund the trip. So that's what Crystal asked, who are these women? Yes, there are women out there. Ryan just said he had to get his sister together. So sometimes we have to have those people around us to be like, you're not right. You're gonna lose a good opportunity, a good man, because you over there trying to.
And the worst part about it is, okay, we get it. Women are cheap, but they hold on to the coins tight. But the worst woman is, and this has been going on a lot, is she'll be bragging about her money through the whole situation. I'm a boss chick. I got the bag. I'm doing this and all this. And she's rubbing her money in to you. Meanwhile, you're paying for everything. And I don't know, it always rubs me the wrong way. I'm like, if you're going to be the type of person that's going to have me paying for everything, then please learn how to play damsel in distress. You act broke. I don't care if you are or not. Just act like you don't got it. That way I just feel better. But don't be over there lashing this and this and that and bragging and everything, and you know that I'm paying for everything.
Yeah, I just said, it said, Crystal out in these comments talking about, she don't know none of these people. Like, I'm real. I know these people, because I'm like, you did what? Or you got savings, and, he, like you said, you want that woman to look out, and she won't say nothing. I'm like, you just going to let him be bold? Okay. So I'm just being honest. So, let's talk about a man's relationship with his mother. So I always want to know what a man's relationship with his mother. So everyone on the panel, is your relationship with your mom pretty good? Because that also determines how you treat your woman. To me, that's what I always think of when I see a man.
Well, I just wanted to say I'm very close to my mom. Actually, I'm the baby boy of 4 boys, so I'm very close to her. I take care of my mom and everything. Not that she needed, but I just love doing great things for my mom. So a lot of the women that I've came across over past time, they know that. You know what I'm saying? That's another reason why I think that they was attracted to me, because they was like, oh, you treat your mom so well. So, they see that and they pay attention to that. So they want a man that do those great things for their mom. So yeah, I'm very close to my mom, and I definitely take care of her, make sure everything is good. So yeah, I think it's important as well. Yeah.
So will the rest of the panel agree? Because like I said, sometimes you have men that, like, if you notice the men that are kind of like disrespectful to their women, usually it's because, like, I knew a guy that he would literally, like, be cussing around his mom and doing everything, and I'm like, and then later on he after his representative went away, then he was cussing at the lady. So you're like, okay.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Yeah, and I'm very close to my mother as well. So I agree with all that. We got
this good panel over here. We got all these men over here close to their mama. And I know Dr. O close to his mama, because we had a whole conversation about that.
Well, I think also, too, that a person's relationship with their mom and their family is personal to them. So it's not a one-size-fit-all situation. I know with my mother, I would say that we kind of close, but I look at it as me being the oldest as I'm more a protector towards her. If she needs something, I guess I'm more of a provider towards her. But as in close, just motherly, dear mama love, you know what I mean? It's not probably I'm probably opposite of a mama's boy as there could be when it comes to that. Now, my younger brother is a mama's boy all the way to the T. So I just think it's different. Depending on how you kind of, you deal with your situation. Still love my mother, to death, but it might not be, like I said, the relationship is not where it is with my younger brother, who kind of grew up with her. And I grew up with my father, so a lot of times. So things are different too. So you got to take everything in order. Doesn't mean if you're not super, super close to your mother that you lack anything. It's just, every family is different in their dynamics and their relationships.
But you said the key thing. You said the respect is there. So that's the key thing. Because, like, no matter what your parents do to you or whatever, it's that level of respect. So Sean knew I'm gonna get on him because we had some offline conversations, So Sean, he's the only child. So naturally he's real close to his mom. So do you guys, leading into the next question, do you guys find yourself dating women that are like similar to your mom? Because I noticed that when I look back at guys that I've dated in the past, I'm like, I got a lot of your mother's characteristics. That's probably why we didn't get along. But what do you guys think?
Yeah, Kia. I was reading Crystal's comments. Yeah, Kia, no, definitely. I found that that's happened, and oddly enough, my mom and my ex-wife did not get along, but they had some similarities, and I think those similarities caused the dynamic to kind of not, they couldn't see that in each other, unfortunately. But yeah, no, I think the women that I've chosen in the past have, had that level of independence. So my mom was, very independent. To me, I look at her, very classy, always carried herself like a lady. She could cook, but she also was strong in the sense of she always had a career, was very professional. So those are kind of the same things that I look for in a woman that I might date. Now, we kind of touched on it earlier, but I mean, I don't expect a woman to make the same amount as me or make a set amount, but to be professional and to be able to take care of herself in the same essence that, my mom did. So for sure.
Okay, like I said, I agree with you, Sean. Because like I said, the guy, you bump heads when you're younger. You bump heads because y'all so similar. And she probably reflecting now, like, you know what? I had a lot of things in common with his mom, and I think it's also a competition thing. So
yeah, and I think you talked about relationships, and I'll just say, like, you also have to, and like what Ron said, sometimes the relationships change. And as I was entering into marriage and being very serious, my relationship with my mother changed because you said it. I'm the only child, and I'm her son. So she had to understand where she fit within the dynamic of my family. It didn't mean I loved her any less or that she was not important, but she couldn't be at the head like my wife would be. And that was difficult for her to understand. And we navigated through it. And I love her from here to the moon and beyond. She would do anything for me, I would do anything for her. But there was a space and time where we had to navigate that relationship because it did become very trying to have these two women kind of almost competing for my attention. And I knew enough as a man to know that I couldn't allow my mother to trump my wife in that way. So it's a hard dynamic, to navigate. We got through it, and I'm thankful to God that we're in a great place. But there was some growing pains throughout those years to get there.
So I know that's like a good point, Sean. Yeah. So listen, y'all better write these. Y'all might want to go back and watch with your notebook because they are dropping some gems, out here in these streets. So anyone else want to add before we move on?
I think, and this is something that's probably more directed towards me. I think you need to know how much influence, like Sean said, does the person's mother have on the relationship. I know in my situation, my mother has zero influence on my relationship decisions, period. So if a woman goes, oh, she thinks she's in a better place because she met my mother, it doesn't mean all that. I love my mom. She's great. We hang out. Everything's perfect. But my mom has always allowed me to make my own relationship decisions. She don't butt into mine. I don't butt into hers that much. And that's kind of how the relationship is when it comes to women that, the dating situation. So if my mom doesn't like the woman that I bring in, it holds no barrier if I'm going to marry that woman or not. I'm able to make that decision 100%, and she'll eventually go along with my decision. My mom will.
Okay. So a lot of the questions we already spoke on because you guys are, one of the viewers put the question on, but based on I'm looking at you guys, I know that you guys are whole. You're not looking for a woman to complete you, so we'll just move on past that. It just depends on what type of guys you are surrounding yourself with. So we'll just move on. So they did want to know. So many women are broken. Unfortunately, yeah, we're broken. We have so much baggage. So how do you deal with that broken woman coming into a relationship, or do you shy away from them women? Like,
if you see it like right away, then it's pretty much kind of best to shy away from it. But sometimes you don't see that brokenness until you get all the way in it. But I feel like a lot of times women, when they're broken, you need to get that taken care of before getting into the relationship. But a lot of times women will, and I'm not saying all women, they'll move on into another relationship because it's like they feel like getting into a relationship, will make them better or complete them. But that brokenness, they're bringing it into the relationship, and it's going to affect the relationship. Like if you dealt with like a relationship where you didn't have trust in a person, where the person just kept doing all kind of stuff to you, you coming in that relationship, and then you're expecting this person to do the same thing to you. And a lot of times you don't even realize that's where it's coming from. So a lot of times I feel like they even need therapy before moving on to the next relationship.
I totally agree. So
I'm gonna say this on this. I used to run like the plague from women that had baggage, but every woman at this point is gonna come with something. So I admire the guys that were able to slow it down, figure out what's going on with their woman, create that emotional bond with her, figure out the situation and work with her. And that's what I'm working on right now. It's my biggest challenge right now is as saying, okay, there's some issues. Everybody's going to come with something. I have to be able to work through that with you if I want to get married. If not, where are you going to find a woman at? Every woman at this place is going to come with something in the past or baggage that she's coming with. I mean, we're Black people. We go through trauma. All of us, it's you can't escape it. You can't go on to the next one every single time a woman is coming with something. So you guys got to deal with it. So I have to get my communication skills better, my emotional intelligence skills better in order to kind of help her through her baggage and kind of come to agreement with things.
Okay. I can totally understand your concept and agree with you. Anyone else?
I would just add to what Ron said. I think, listen, everybody has something. I have things, but it's the approach and the mindset, kind of like we talked about earlier. And that person willing to see this as something to work on, or they fixed that, believing like, you know what, this is my approach, this is how I see all men, or this is how I see men, and I'm not changing it, and you have to go through all these steps and hurdles to change their opinion. Or are they willing to do some level of self-work to make some changes? Because the same for me, like I'm a proponent in therapy, right? I think like if there's things that you go through, there's things that you need to heal from, there's nothing wrong with talking those out, right? We go to the doctor if something's bothering us. I knew very early on as I was navigating the process of divorce that I would need therapy to be able to navigate out of that relationship, to allow me to come out of it not being bitter, not being angry, right? Learning from what mistakes that were made by me that I could own and move differently into my next relationship. So I would hope that the woman that I would be in a relationship would have a similar mindset, in that you're not perfect. And there's going to be some things you thought were right, some things you held on so closely, but be open and willing to do it differently, to heal from the hurt that you have, because that's the beauty in relationships. You could see something in me. That was one of the benefits of marriage for me, was it shined a mirror to you. The person is a mirror. If you're listening, they're going to reflect back to you what you give to them. And if you pay close enough attention and you both are willing to work on it, you can make that work. Right. Unfortunately, in my situation, we couldn't reach that point. But I think in marriage, you can definitely be a mirror to each other. And if both parties are willing, remove that pride to the side and that trust is built, then you can grow. But if everybody's going to stand in a fixed position, nobody's moving.
Awesome. You always give it to us. So I just want to take a pause. I'm just looking at 6 strong black men, and I hate that theory when, people are like, it's no good men out there, there's no good men out there. So, you guys are putting in the work, you're mentioning counseling, you're like, okay, we're doing this. And you guys just seem so balanced. So with that being said, okay, so with the women, what advice would you give for the women that, women, we be a little off sometimes. So what misconceptions are we having? Because John laughing, we do. I'm gonna tell you where I be off. So I don't want the comments to blow up and be like, Kia, stop talking for the rest of us. Well, a lot of my friends, we be a little off. So as women, I know we sometimes be, like they say, men from Mars and women from Venus. So how can we come together and, like I said, kind of like come together and have healthy relationships? And, because we have misconceptions. Like you said, like Ron said, he like to cuddle. Some women think men don't like to cuddle. And, we got to stop thinking men are certain ways, or all men cheat. Because, you guys on here are just dropping gems. So what are our misconceptions that you were seeing overall from your friends or yourself that we are here doing basically wrong?
I would say just ask and just stop assuming, because every man is different. Every man don't like, just like you mentioned about the cuddling. Some men like cuddling, some men don't. But I feel like you should ask the person that you're trying to date, what they like or what they don't like, and then get to know them on that level, instead of saying, oh, well, most men don't like to do this, or most men don't like to do that, or all men don't do this. Every man is different. And this is a new generation now. So you never know what you're getting.
I would like to say, being compared to the last relationship that didn't go well and everything. It seems like sometimes when women are dating a new guy, it's like they looking for that man to do something that the last guy did to trigger her off. You know what I'm saying? So the comparison thing, I think when you date a new guy, give him the opportunity to be different and show himself to be a better man, you know what I'm saying, than what you last experienced. So.
Well, Sinead wants y'all to be the little spoon, so can y'all be the little spoon sometimes?
Tell Sinead to stop playing. She don't want no little spoon. Cut it out.
No,
she'll be telling all her friends in the group chat.
I don't think we kiss and tell at this age. Come on now, Sean.
You want to be a little spoon, be a little spoon.
So, like I said, I'm not talking for all women, because people in the comments like, who do you know? Sometimes we be in denial when act like we don't have these friends, but either you work with her, she your cousin. Listen, I know people, like you said, from all different walks of life, and that's why I'm a good writer, because I be writing your own story. You better not tell me nothing, because I'm gonna write it down. But what men, we assume, like, and I'm guilty, because how you look at a man and you see this big strong man and you like, okay, Michael Basin wrote a book years ago, said men cry in the dark. So a lot of times men come off as strong, they walk around, tough, and we don't think they have insecurities. And I'm not saying all women, but a lot of women think that there's, and maybe that's why we kind of like push them or take them for granted, because we're like, oh, he could take it, or he's okay, he didn't say anything. So are men walking around with some insecurities? I'm sure they are, but is there any that you guys would like to share?
That looked like a no, huh?
I mean, it's definitely some insecurities, but
None that you want to share? They got quiet, like,
Well, it's kind of like
you said, because it must be an insecurity. Like if you sit up here with a body shaper on, for 20 hours out the day, you like, okay, you're really not comfortable.
I gained some quarantine pounds, so yeah, that's the insecurity. I got a dad bod right now. That's not,
I think it's our insecurities. Well, I think women know a lot of men's insecurities, because when y'all get mad, that's the first thing y'all try to attack, and it's usually going after the man's manhood, his money, or his sexuality. Those are the three things that a woman really guns for. So I think a man really puts a wall around his finances. He makes sure that he ain't doing, like I said, he don't want to be the little spoon because he's worried about his manhood and his sexuality all the time. So I think those are the kind of three things that we put a big mask over to kind of hover. But a lot of times we just being ourselves. Like I said, we like to lay in our girl's stomach, you know what I mean? A little soft part of her stomach and watch the movie, or we like to, be upfront about our finances sometimes in a situation and say, hey, I might not be able to cover that right now. I'm working on this, and be able to be honest and open about that. And we might, within our masculinity, sometimes we don't want to be hard all the time. You know what I mean? It's just not in our nature. Sometimes we want to be goofy. Sometimes we want to be in a different, mindset on that. So I just think we put a wall on those three things a lot, but that's not 100% us. And I even had a situation with a woman that goes, I like this side of you. You present this, but we're all hanging out by ourselves. You're a different person. You cool. I would never have thought that. So that tells me myself that I'm masking certain things, maybe out in public.
And that's cool, like I said, because I know Seaway put in there that, yeah, you have insecurities. But, that was one of the questions that someone sent me, because I did ask, for the questions that people wanted to ask. And like I said, because women, sometimes we think that, you guys be trying to hold it together, whether it's something at the office, your job is on the line, or something, a deal didn't go through. There's a lot of things you guys go through that we just may not know. So I heard you say, Ryan, I know Corey, women, you're not talking for all men, like I'm not talking for all women. So we're gonna go back to the we talked about perfume before, Sean and Corey. So what about women in these? Do they have to have a Victoria's Secret card, or are you okay with the granny panties? Do we have to put on the sexy all the time?
Yeah, no, yeah. It's a no-go right there. I'm sorry. Period panties are for periods. Then That's the same place granny panties belong, and you got to spice it up. The same way there's certain stuff that we got to do, to make sure that that sexual chemistry is there. We're doing things to please you. That's something men are visual, right? So you want us to get in the mood, then you got to do it. Listen, what I told you guys. I had a Victoria's Secret's credit card when I was married. You know what I mean? And I would just buy my wife things. Now, towards the end, there was so many tags left in drawers. But, I think it's fun to do that is my point, and to be open to do it. Don't just get in this thing where I'm going to throw my helmet of salvation on. We're going to go to bed and you're going to get it popping. I'm going to toot my booty to the side, toot her booty to the side and just get a little side action. No, get into it. Let's have fun. Keep that spice going. So that's my unfiltered opinion on that.
So go ahead.
Yeah, I know Sean touched on the undergarments. I'll touch on the perfumes. Okay. Ladies, at no point at this time in your age should you still be wearing Bath and Body Works when you go out. Okay. Cucumber, melon, cherry, any fruit. Those items are to be put on after a shower, a long day, a shower, and you going straight to bed. That's what you need to use that for. I'm all for that. But if I tell you I'm taking you out on a date and I smell nothing but passion fruit coming from you, is not the essence of who you are, that's a problem for me, because I really do feel like Bath and Body Works, it's kind of high school. It's just like for women, for us, they don't want us wearing Curve anymore. Curve, if you're a grown man, you still wearing Curve. We've come so far. So that's kind of like how I see it. I think it's immature scent at this point. I mean, we have to develop, we have to grow as a people, so those are some things I just wanted to touch bases on, because it's important. It is important.
No cherry blossom, no cucumber. Ladies, if you got it right now, they probably running into the bathroom right now.
Right. Their body splash.
So I don't want to keep you guys all night. So let's just do a round table and just let the ladies know something that you want to leave, drop some gem. Each one, just drop a gem, ladies, something that we need to know that that might help us out in what we're out here doing. So you want to go first, JL?
Well, I don't really have much to say. I just want to I just want to thank the ladies for coming in and listening to us tonight and just getting our point of view about how we feel about some things and to stay. I mean, I think women should, like I said, just listen to the man sometime and hear us out as well because sometimes we don't get anything in when it comes to conversations. We more want us to listen versus get anything out. So just listen to us, see how we feeling today. How did our day go as well in some situations. So, but I had a great time being here. So.
I enjoyed you being here, and you did it without a hesitation. All the men, everybody I asked did not give me a problem. They jumped on, was here for you guys, ladies. Because, I got inbox. I didn't really want to do a male panel because I'm so silly and I always do like lady stuff. And ladies was like, no, why you don't have no male panel? And so I was like, okay. So, Mike, you up next. What you want to leave us with?
Well, let me go back to, as far as like wearing stuff to bed. If you're gonna come to the bed with the bonnet on or the granny gown or the granny panties, that's an indication that you don't want me to get none. Basically, that's what I'm assuming, because it's like, why are you coming to bed looking like that? I ain't Little Red Riding Hood. I ain't come to see grandma. So yeah, look presentable. Either get into bed naked or pull that ponytail back and let it flow.
Let it flow. So no more. We got to go put up our raggedy. I'm just gonna call it raggedy. Our raggedy undergarments, and we trying to make an impression.
Yeah, well, you can have it ready. So when we done, you go ahead and put that on. I'm going to sleep anyway, so we good.
So Ron, what you want to leave the people with?
I'm gonna speak on the two issues I feel is the biggest problem out here these days with females. One is that feminine energy. I mean, y'all gotta find it. I don't care where it's coming from, but you have to find it. It's getting ridiculous out here. The energy that these women are bringing on dates is so masculine. I remember a time I'm trying to peacock and show off my watch or something out there, and she's doing the same thing. It's like, you can't date like men. You have to go back to the essence of a woman, of your femininity, soft voice, everything that goes with that. And lead with it. I don't care how you find it, but we need that so much. We can't do the masculine woman. It's too hard to do. We tried, it's not working. So that's one. And then two, we got to deal with this weight issue too. Women, y'all got to get to the gym, eat a little better, not for us, for yourself. You're gonna feel better. It all comes from the outside, inside out. So you're gonna feel better. Your mood's gonna be better. You got more energy. You're gonna be more confident. I mean, had a woman the other day talking about, well, once I get down to 200, and I'm gonna stop, because I'm gonna be looking my best at there. And I had to let her know it ain't about looks all the time. 200 is too much weight for us to be carrying around in our bones. I body build sometimes, I don't like carrying around 200 pounds on me as a man. It's a lot on our joints, even though it's all muscle and it looks good. It's a lot. It's not healthy. Get in the gym, try to get the best version of you out. We in Houston, Texas. Y'all women like to eat. Y'all eat good. I mean, try to get some more healthier options or something, because it's getting out of hand with it's just with the weight and things of that nature. And guys are looking at it in long-term situations saying, like, man, if she's this size now, what's going to happen when we do get married and we let ourselves go a little bit, or we have a baby, or this and that? This woman might come in 260, 270 pounds. It's not healthy. I don't want to, it's not healthy. It's not right. So try to get the best version of yourself out there, and it's for the men too. Let's get a little more healthier. Let's make some better decisions when it comes to our body and what we put into ourselves. Because to me, it shows you how much respect you have for yourself and what you put in your body and how much you're working out and things of that nature. And it affects your mind too. Like I said, it comes from the inside, it comes out. Let's get a little more healthier on things.
And that's a whole nother conversation. I just didn't want to keep you guys all night, because those were some of the questions, when you didn't come off. It's always a good way that you can say something where it doesn't come off negative. When you're like, okay, take care of yourself. It's not always about look. So again,
it's not about. I know thick is in. Like I said, thick is in. The guys like it, and that's why women are carrying all this extra weight, because they see that, oh, this is their style. These men are looking at my booty and slim's not in. but it ain't about us. I think women will feel better internally, inside, more energy and stuff like that, just making healthy decisions. Now, if you're making all healthy decisions, you're working out and you're eating right and you feel a little bigger, then that's good. At least you're healthy, you're confident, your energy is there. But it ain't all about weight or things of that nature. It's just making more healthier decisions when it comes to ourselves and bringing our best self forward. And like I said, I know thick is in and guys are gonna be like, oh, I like them big and stuff like that. But most guys here would take a slimmer woman who's healthier than a thicker woman who isn't. It's just
you just
most men are like
something, Ron. So you know that's going on. But I call you back and be like, Ron, because you're gonna have to. You started a whole nother. You're gonna have the women in the chat or the after thing. So that's a whole nother. Because I know Corey was like, we could be, thick, slim, whatever. I don't know. I don't want to misquote my brother Corey over there. But some guys, they're okay. So again, that is a thing that women want to know about. Because women like, okay, are we being passed up? Because I know we were reviewing a reality show and I was saying something about size. They were like, nah, she's cute. I was like, I'm not saying she's not cute. I'm just saying that they looking sideways because they looking for the slim. But I could have been wrong, but we'll move on. Dr. O, what you want to leave with?
Thanks for having me. I'm sorry I had to come in halfway through, but I was definitely enjoyable conversation. Definitely learned a lot from you guys. I never thought I'd have to say today, but Ron, you can have my time. Preach on.
Wait, Dr. O, you want somebody? Okay, so she can't be 250 with you, Dr. O.
Really? No. Short answer, no. No. I'm trying to have a family. I'm trying to have a kid. 270. I am not trying to deal with all the diabetes.
I'm gonna have to call y'all back because, like I said, y'all done open. Ron, you done closed with you. You're gonna have women in there they like Ron is honest.
Ron can have my time. I never thought I'd say today. Ron can have all my time.
And see, I can't remember Corey's name now. Corey.
Yeah, you guys are funny. Yeah, so I want to say this, ladies. I do understand that it can be hard for you guys to find a good man out there. I want to tell you to focus on a man who has a plan, a man who can show and prove. That's the best way I can tell you to avoid your time being wasted. A man has a plan. He's a forward-thinking man who says, okay, look, this is what I see in the future. This is how I see my life as a married man. This is how I'm going to be as a husband. He's a forward-thinking man, and also he shows you and proves that he can be that man that he said he wants to be. So I think that's very important. So pay attention to the signs. Don't ignore the red flags. Just to be the best you can.
Last but not least, my brother Sean.
Yeah, I think, all the brothers made some great points. I would just add, we kind of talked about it a lot in between certain conversations, but you want a man to be a man, let him be a man. And if we're saying something that sounds harsh, sounds patriarchal, misogynistic, we're mansplaining, ask us what we mean. Ask us what we mean. Ask us to re-explain our point. But know that sometimes we as men, we just communicate differently. We don't communicate the same way that you do. A lot of us can be very direct, very to the point. Sometimes if we're arguing about something or trying to prove a point, it can be a little strong. Don't take offense to it. Just ask us what we mean and give us a chance to restate it. Right. And if we did something wrong, allow us to apologize, but don't always see the worst in us. And sometimes I see that and I feel that, especially among, Black men and women. It's like sometimes we just see the worst in each other. Give each other some grace and ask questions and understand that we are different, but the differences are great. And if you want to know, ask and listen to understand, not to debate, not to just come back at us, but just truly listen to hear what we have to say. Just like what you did tonight, Kia, what Crystal has done in the past, when women bring us on and ask us our opinions and just allow us to speak, that goes a long way because you just let us just vibe and then you'll get to the answers. But when you want to hear it a certain way, you're not going to hear it that way because we're not women. So that's my thought.
Well, I hope this felt like a safe space for you guys, and it's not gonna be anytime soon, but hopefully that you guys can come back, and if you got some questions that you want to answer, like shoot me a DM or a message or whatever. Say, hey, Kia, what do you think about this? Because again, it may be some things that as a woman I may not be aware of or may not be conscious of, or that's why we're talking. And I was thinking next time maybe we bring some women, because Ida wanted to jump on, but she left. So, in closing, JL is my homie. Like I just met him this summer, for the first time, and he wrote the promo for my book. And so he first wrote the one for the second one he wrote me. The first one I liked too, because it was more like a churchy song. But the second one I was in the house like, oh. But my favorite song by JL is Ride. Okay, so. Y'all got to go on YouTube and find where all musical outlets or whatever. JL, tell them where they can find you. Because that Ride, I'm telling you, that's a summer, ladies. Listen to the words.
Well, you definitely subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's Soul Link Music. It's 1L. And all of my music is available there. Also, the website is www.soullinkmusic.com, and you can check out all the music available. Definitely follow me. I am J Lake is tagged on my name here, so just check out all the music, man. And I would love to follow you guys as well on your social media outlets and everything. So
yep, we always link up like on these like platforms, because you never know who's who. Just good, fellowship. So I'm just learning about Mike. So Mike, he out in these Detroit streets, like he doing his thing. Like I love Chocolate City. Do you know how many times I watched that? I was like, I called my mom, was like, you want to watch a clean, wholesome little movie? Watch this. So tell us what you out here doing in these streets, Mike.
Well, Chocolate Kiss, that's one of the movies I just got finished doing. I teamed up with a few people to do it. And I just got finished with another one of my partners in film, and we just did another movie called Entangled. It was originally a stage play, which you can see that on Tubi right now, and then we converted it into a movie. But I'm also a singer, so I have two movies in Chocolate Kiss, which is Chocolate Kiss and You, which has Willie Taylor from Day 26 on there. And I'm working on a new song now for this upcoming film. And then Chocolate Kiss you can see right there. And then Bad Day, that's a short film that I did. So I'm staying doing stuff. So finding me is real easy. So if you just type in Mike Raw Voices, then pretty much everything will pop up that I do.
Awesome. Brian, do you want to promote anything?
Not much to promote. Like I said, you can always catch me on social media. I am Ron Freeman. It's I am, and then my name all together. Like I said, I do my business. I do own a car lot, Safe Autos out here in Houston. I own an import casket company. And then, like I said, I just got promoted in my corporate job. So everything's been blessed for me, and it's exciting what the future holds. I am going to eventually, I got all the equipment and stuff like that. So within the next month or so, I'm going to start my podcast called The Locker Room Talk, where we are going to get these men real stuff that we talk about behind the scenes in the barbershop or in the locker room and back in the day. We're going to get all that out for people on that real tip to let them know what's really going on in these streets.
And that's what we need. So when the women come into the locker room?
Yeah, women come in the locker to listen. But it's going to be more, we're just going to be raw with it. And get conversations. Man, we have some of the most craziest conversations. I know how women talk. You know how y'all women talk when y'all get together. Man, we do the same thing. And it just never gets heard past that point because it's just it gets real extreme sometimes. But it's time to share those thoughts so women can really understand who we are, because I think that's the biggest disconnect. We don't know each other. We really don't know what's going on with women really deep inside and stuff. And luckily, I got a sister that's close to my age who we share together like that. So I got to learn women a little more through that. If not, I'd be lost. And she leans on me to know what a man is feeling in a certain situation. And it's been situations where I was in a relationship, it broke up, and I said, oh, that girl was wrong, this, and that. And she said, no, you did this. And she made me look at it in different ways. And then been other situations where she thought the man was wrong, and I made her look at it in a certain situation, a different way, and she understood it different. So I just think it's a disconnect. I know it's there. So I just think we just need to learn more about each other.
All right. So I'll put everyone's information in the other comments after the show, so you guys don't have to like look for it, because it's all throughout the chat. So I'm not gonna leave you guys hanging, because I see people out there trying to get y'all contact information, everything. Dr. O, do you want to give us your IG or your Secret Service? What's going on? You're muted.
Onu Amadi, MD. I guess you put it in the chat. Definitely, it's been a great 2001. For 2002, I'm definitely have some things in order. Some Black doctors here in Detroit, they're trying to do a lot of Zoom meetings. So I'm thinking they're going to be doing a lot of Zoom shows coming 2022. So I'm thinking about joining those. Also talking about a lot of things in healthcare. Healthcare, African Americans, and COVID-19. I think it's a big topic. So some things I'm definitely going to start addressing next year. So I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully, if you definitely want to join, I'll definitely put the information, share that with you guys.
Definitely. I will make sure, I'm sure you'll give it to me, and I'll, put it on my page and make sure, we get you some, exposure. We just all work together. And my Corey. Guess what, Corey? My ex called today and said, who is Zeke?
He need to know.
So anybody know, Corey did an awesome job reading the excerpt from my book last Wednesday. It was Zeke. And he was like, Zeke? I was like, don't be worrying about Zeke.
Yeah, good. But yeah, the Black May Media, you can follow me everywhere, Black May Media, all platforms. Mike, I also write, bro. So I don't know if you need writers, but let me know. I do relationship-related content on my page. I'm a relationship advisor, counselor in a sense. And yeah, that's it for me, man. That's what I do.
Sean is all over these internet streets. So Sean, what you got going on?
So yeah, outside of my 9 to 5, I do have my own YouTube channel, Sean Unfiltered. So definitely encourage everybody to head on over there, subscribe, and check out my content. I talk about social commentary, relationships. We do some television reviews mixed in there as well. I also have another channel with Jay, who is in the comments tonight, called Another Round. So check us out, where we kind of do the male and female perspective together. So, got some great things going on over there. And from time to time, you definitely will see me on Little Black Book's channel as a panelist there. Thanks so much for allowing me to be here, Kia. It was definitely a great time.
Awesome. So good night, everyone in the audience. We're going to go ahead and head out, because we actually thought it was going to be an hour, but we didn't even get to cover all the stuff. But we went into a 2-hour mark. And again, thank you guys. You provided so much insight. Peace, audience.